Hello everyone, Treecks here and welcome back to Super Treecks Originals World. It's been a long project, but the end seems to be drawing near. We're at World 14 today, out of 16. World 6 of the second half of Super Treecks Originals World. A project that when I started looked like to be a pretty long project, especially since I'm covering it in extra videos, but still, even then, eventually we'll get to the end. And it seems the end is drawing near. Only 15 more courses are there to clear. The 15 final ones we have not seen yet in either this Super World or in Classic Remix World. For a super total of 120 courses. We've already reached the 100 courses mark. 105 to be precise. And today we are going to do courses 106 through 110. Here in World 14 of Super Treecks Originals World. And even though all of these courses are actually in the water, I think that is only overworld aesthetic. I don't think all of them are going to be underwater courses. In fact, there's actually only one more I can think of that's going to show up. It might be in this world. Yeah, it is. As if I saw this coming. The fastest swimmer. Which is indeed a swimming course, but with fast autoscroll. One of my more popular ideas. This is actually the kind of course where I received a lot of likes for and a lot of positive comments, so people really like this idea. And I can imagine, because I also think it's a pretty well designed idea. The fast autoscroll actually is faster than your regular swimming speed, and therefore it forces you to the full left of the screen. You cannot outrun this autoscroll, so you're basically pushed throughout this stage. And of course, in the meantime, you need to avoid a couple of things I throw at you. That's a basic idea here. Interesting idea, I must admit. But okay, of course, it's more than just one singular room. As you are used from me by now, we also get a vertical part, of course. For this one, some different rules apply, because of course, just like with the P-balloon level that was before this one. Interesting, two of them in a row, because the previous level we played was the fastest flyer. Interesting how the levels are placed. But similar to the P-balloon, the vertical autoscroll's maximum speed is actually not as fast as your, in this case, swimming speed, and therefore it works a little bit differently, but still. It's the maximum vertical autoscroll, so we're still forced to swim pretty fast. But okay, there we go. First try in this room. Last room is once again going to be horizontal. Just follow the arrows, you should be safe. Even though I technically don't have to, but just out of habit, I'm still holding the right on the D-pad. Okay, F-Zero GX reference here. Go fast! Oh, F-Zero, why are you a thing? Oh, help! Help! Okay, I'm surprised it didn't die there. For two reasons. Me being forced off screen should have killed me, and of course the enemies that I couldn't see anymore. But okay, I'll take it. Yeah, do be careful for being pushed off screen for two reasons. But that can happen. I'm pretty sure it also happened in my regular video for just showing off this course. When I still made my individual Mario Maker courses for videos. I'm pretty sure something similar happened then. But that's part of the challenge, you might say. All part of the level. But okay, the continuation is to the right, it looks like. So we have a loose level to the left over here. Making me curious for its difficulty. As you may remember. Usually, whenever a course is loose by itself, not leading anywhere, it's usually bad news. Okay, Link doesn't jump. That's a course that kind of slipped my mind, but yeah, now that I think about it, this one's also a thing. Remember how in one of the updates, Link actually got added in this game? Where Mario, or any of the characters that you use, actually pick up the Master Sword and you actually transform into Link. Complete with moveset and music. And of course I wanted to make a level with him as well. Based on the very same Link this Link is from. Namely, the very first Zelda game where Link cannot jump. He is not in a platforming game after all, so I wanted to create a dungeon where you're not allowed to jump. And of course it turned out super difficult. So, say hello to Link for the first time in Mario Maker 2, at least for my Super World. Complete with all of his moves. And that does not include Mario's move, so we're not allowed to jump. Normally you would jump for this block, however we cannot do that, so we need to shoot an arrow to it. Same deal with the P-switch. Okay, and this opening screen is kind of indication what you can expect in this quote-unquote dungeon. A lot of challenges where Link needs to overcome them, because Link is not Mario or Toadette. He cannot jump. Okay, an arrow pointing left. Oh, there's a switch there. Hidden in the dark. Yeah, this darkness also makes this level extra challenging. Okay, we need to hit that switch in order to create a pathway for ourselves. For that, bombs can do wonders. Or maybe not. Come on. Yeah, there we go. And for safety, I sometimes shoot some arrows in front of me, because those actually get lightened up, as you can see. So you can kind of see what is in front of you. Okay, this little room over here actually has a key. You can almost see it in the light of the POW blocks. Okay, nothing here. No, okay. We're safe. Let's go. Oh, help. We're locked in. Bam. Just in time. Yeah, a well-designed stage also needs to have stuff like that. Okay, this looks like a point where we need to run. So we kill the plants, avoid the thwomps, and stop here. Okay. Another part survived. Let's blow up this wall. Okay, and we find a POW block down there. And a little bit of a gap. As you can see, there's a muncher there. Something our bombs can't handle. However, this POW block can, so lay a bomb on that. And that way get rid of the muncher. Oh, let's run here. Disappearing floor. Okay, what's up next? No, another block. So, bombs. Ooh, and there's a living block behind it. Okay, the way to deal with this guy is actually push him with your shield. Start running and then press down, so you actually slide into this guy and push him out of your way. The only way to get rid of him without jumping over him, something we're not allowed to do. Let's go to the next room. Oh, help. Only this time we do need to defend ourselves. Take a close eye out on which direction these spike balls come from. Okay, that was enough. Okay, here's another tricky gap. Not a whole lot of room to get a running start. And then we get an additional Master Sword, just in case. And what for? Well, simple. Our fight with Ganon, of course. It's just a simple flying boom boom, but still. It's supposed to be some sort of Ganon. And remember, even for this guy, we are not allowed to jump. So, shoot arrows at him while he's up there in order to hit him. Or just wait for him to go down and hit him with your sword. It's also a way you can hit him, of course. As long as you don't jump. Because remember, in the very first Legend of Zelda game, Link doesn't jump. But he can still clear a Mario Maker 2 stage. Also a pretty interesting idea. Not super difficult, also not super easy. Okay, and this actually gives access to 2 mushroom houses. I can't carry a single one of them, so let's skip out on them. Might be able to use them if I actually start dying a little bit more. But for now, at 99 lives, it is not an option. Let's move on to stage number 3. Fun with Spikes 2. Okay, this is an idea I actually had the moment the second to last major update came. Adding a spike and his spike balls, as you can see. And it actually made me remember the very first stage I made in Super Mario Maker 2. Which was also the very first stage in Super Treecks Originals World, Fun with Spikes. Yeah, and the moment an actual spike got added in Mario Maker 2, I was of course forced to use him for a sequel to that very first level. And that actually turned out to be this one. A stage where I use a lot of spikes, the actual enemy spike, and of course also still the loose spikes that are a part of Mario Maker 2 from the very beginning. That's pretty much going to be the gimmick of this stage. Nothing but enemies and objects that have spiky ends on them. Or have spike in their name. But okay, let's get started. Background story aside, there's also still a level that needs to be cleared. Okay, spike balls coming from red pipes. And therefore the maximum spawning rate. Whenever you create a red pipe, it also has the maximum rate of producing objects. However, whenever they are big, it takes a while for them to come out. As you can see, these smaller ones actually fall out even quicker, making this extra challenging. Okay, and here and combine it, making it extra tricky to time. Still doable. Okay, this is an interesting puzzle. Spike is in the way there. However, there's also P-blocks. So we first need to find ourselves a P-switch. And a secret to the left. There's actually 3 1-ups here. Not that I can carry them, but still. This is what we're after. P-switch, so this upper spike actually kills this bottom dude. Giving us free pass. Okay, and this spiky dude is a little bit too tall. We can't jump over him. However, we can still use that same spike that killed the other guy to actually kill this pokey as well. Okay, and the next challenge, spin jumping on these spike balls. Also something you can do. And therefore also a challenge I included in the stage, of course. Okay, that was still pretty easy. However, what if we do it in the other way? Or what if we make the ball smaller? Also an option. Even more difficult to stay on it. Okay, low ceiling. Oh, too low ceiling. Wait for you to pass and let's go. Okay, there's something up here. Second checkpoint. Oh, there's not a die here. Even though I have the checkpoint, still don't want to die. Okay, this part you can best do quickly, otherwise these guys can overwhelm you. Okay, now we need to do some tricky bouncing on these spike balls. Need to be quick though, because these aren't standing still. There we go. Let's move on to the final part of this stage. Because of course, what is a spiky stage without the part where you use a Starman to run over hordes and hordes of these spikes? That also needed to be included. It's in fact going to be the final challenge of this stage. Okay, hit the switch. Let's go to the bottom left. There's going to be another refill from our Starman. Okay, this is good. There we go. And that was Fun with Spikes 2. The sequel to Fun with Spikes, my very first stage. Because of Nintendo having the idea to actually add Spike to the set of mechanics. And therefore giving me this inspiration. And it is safe to say that this one is tons better than the first one was. It was of course a lot later and therefore I was a lot more experienced in creating levels. So this one turned out a lot better, I feel. But anyway, that was the third stage of today. Let's go try finish off this world. 2 more stages to do for that. Let's move on to course number 4. Yoshi the Shield. I was kinda expecting this one in this world, to be honest. Let's go see what the gist is here. The gimmick of Yoshi the Shield is once again going to be Yoshi, but unlike with Yoshi's protection, which we saw on the previous world, this one actually makes use of one very important aspect in regards to Yoshi. Namely, that Yoshi gives you invincibility frames whenever you get hit. And that is nothing new. Everything gives you invincibility frames when you get hit. However, Yoshi is actually a power-up which you can actually re-grab. If you remember, whenever you get hit when riding Yoshi, you don't lose the power-up, you just lose Yoshi, but you can re-grab him. And that is actually a mechanic in Mario that this stage is going to abuse. And of course the fact that Yoshi can actually hit certain enemies or objects without getting hit at all, like these munchers and these saw blades. So that is also something this stage is going to make use of. And the moment the second room begins, we can find out what the true gimmick of the stage is. We get hit. However, if we're quick enough, we can actually grab Yoshi again. And therefore, we basically don't lose a power-up. The deal is just going to be, Yoshi's going to run away and we need to be quick enough to get him back before he definitively disappears. And then we do have a problem. And this abuse of invincibility frames can be taken a step further, like this. Forcing the player to grab Yoshi again, even while still in a very deadly position. That is going to be the deal here. Okay, for this part we need to be careful, because some of these thwomps actually move to the left and therefore give some gaps to fall through. Okay, here we have a wide array of fire bars, which are impossible to avoid normally, but luckily we don't have to avoid them, because we have an infinite power-up with us. At least if you're back on Yoshi in time. And then he pretty much functions as an infinite extra hit. And especially in a part like this that can be tricky, because Yoshi has a tendency to bounce between walls, and therefore it's not always easy to get on again. That's probably the biggest challenge in this course. The moment you lose Yoshi, are you back on him in time? Because usually you're still in a deadly situation the moment your invincibility frames run out. So you need to be back on him the moment they do. Kinda like over here. But okay, there we go. Next checkpoint. And this checkpoint isn't here for nothing, because this is going to be the trickiest part of the stage. Not just staying alive on Yoshi, but also timing. And this is a clear example of bad timing. Let's try that again. Because it's obvious what we need to do here. We need to land on that P-switch so we get the key. And preferably not while being hit by these lava bubbles. However, getting the key will actually lock us in. Making these lava bubbles a pretty dangerous thing. Because the moment the P-switch runs out, it is not per se guaranteed that you are going to stay on Yoshi, as you can see. Interesting how that Muncher is bouncing on that note block. But still, let's kill ourselves and try that again. Yoshi's infinite invincibility frames is a fun thing and everything. Well, however, in this challenge that is not per se enough, as you can see. Let's go time this a little bit better. There's nothing we can do, we're going to get hit no matter what. However, we need to make sure we're still in our invincibility frames the moment the P-switch runs out. And then we can jump to safety. Success! Oh, dang it, I forgot about that. So, we need to do that again. We can't try to jump over the P-switch, because we don't actually have to get the key again. However, I think that jump is too far, so let's still try to do it like this. Ooh, barely. And this time, remember that there's actually a saw blade behind that door. So, let's go to the final part of the stage, finally. The ultimate challenge where death is all around us and only Yoshi's invincibility frames to keep us alive. So make sure, no matter what, you're back on him in time so you can get hit again. And then finish the stage. There we go. The second Yoshi-themed stage in Super Treecks Originals World, also a success. Even though I died twice, but still. This level's made to die, so I'm forgiven to do that. Especially in the final part. Okay, 19 minutes. Once again, cutting it close, but I feel I still have some time left. Let's immediately do the castle level as well. Which is going to be on the edge of the Autoscroll. Okay, this one definitely needs some explanation. On the edge of the Autoscroll makes use of one important aspect of Autoscrolls in platformers. Namely, the four edges they have. The far right of the screen, the far left of the screen, but even the bottom and the top of them. And a couple of challenges I was able to think of the moment I came up with the idea of playing around with the edges of Autoscroll. The most dangerous places any player can be at. Let's get started. Let's get in the door before the Autoscroll actually goes past it. Same deal here, we need to run through this corridor. And if we're quick enough, the door is still going to be on the edge of the Autoscroll, and we can still enter it. Okay, now we're going to go to the top edge, the off-screen part. And the same deal for the lower part. As you can see here, the arrows actually point out where the safety is. But the Autoscroll actually does not show the safety. So we need to trust the arrows. Okay, now let's turn it around. And this time the safety is actually where the arrows are not present. Living on the edge of the Autoscroll. And even past that. Okay, even though we can't see it, there is a pipe here. And now we're going to live on the left side of the Autoscroll. As you can see, a pretty normal room. However, there's a big bill blaster in the way, forcing us to stay on the left side of it. And therefore we run a pretty high chance of not jumping in time, and therefore being squished. The famous Autoscroll squish. At this part it's still pretty forgiving. As you can see, we still have some room, but still being so close to the squish is still pretty scary. And that is a feeling this stage definitely wants to give the player. Especially here. Here we get actually pushed off screen for a moment. But like we have learned in the Fastest Swimmer already at the beginning of this world, being pushed off screen a little bit, you're still allowed to live. Okay, this part is especially puzzle-like. For this one we actually don't want to jump. The Autoscroll will actually push us to the next hook automatically, as you can see. Okay, now here we need to be careful. We don't want to get on these platforms too early, because they will fall. Okay, and there we go. And get in the door before it's off screen. And now, let's turn that around. Now we are going to live on the right edge of the Autoscroll. Another bill blaster forcing us in order to stay on one side of the screen. Only this time it's going to be the other side. And of course this one will also push us off the screen entirely for a moment. Of course calculated in such a way that we're not going to get squished by the game. Okay, now the most difficult part of this stage. Actual platforming without a lot of chances to react. Because these gaps are going to come out of nowhere. Because we can't see what's coming up. And yet there is stuff coming up. Okay, time for the final room. I have one more ultimate challenge for you when it comes to off-screen Autoscroll platforming. The most original idea in this stage. The screen will scroll down, so we can't see where we are. However, as you can see, we can use our ghosty little friends down there to see where we are. As you may know, a boo can only pursue you the moment you aren't facing his direction. So by taking a look at the boos, seeing which ones are moving and which ones aren't, we can actually see where we are. We can actually see where we are on the x-axis of the screen. And therefore helping us jump over the gaps. Because as you can see, there's still gaps, so we need to know when we need to jump. And only the ghosty little friends down there can help us with that. Okay, one more. There we go. And that was it. Also a pretty interesting concept. And luckily I didn't have to bring back my old Autoscroll squish counter for this one. I was worried that might come up at a stage like this, but first try, so it is not going to happen. World 14 is complete. 23 minutes is enough to reach World 7. The final 10 courses are up next time, because today this is enough. Another successful run through Super Treecks Originals World. Only 2 more worlds to do. I started this episode by saying the end is drawing near, but now it is even nearer. See you at the next opening for an extra video, and we can get even closer to the end. It is inevitable. It is coming up. Okay, enough played for today. It is time to hit the sack. It has been a busy day today, and tomorrow is also going to be another busy day, so thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you folks next time for Super Treecks Originals World. Treecks out!